In other news, check.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Double. Can you hear yourself?
I can. Can you hear yourself?
Cannot hear myself
At all?
at all.
Let me see here. Let me see here. Does that help?
Negative. There it is. That's it.
I still have the old Jonas and Misty set up.
Cool.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Just a Mic podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Scott, and with me is my guy T.
Hello.
Thaddeus Maximus.
'Tis I.
How you doing, sir?
Great.
It's been good hanging out with you today a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Episode 193.
What's it going to be?
It's going to be an episode. We have a lot to talk about. It's been we took last week off. A lot going on. I've been gardening like crazy with this amazing weather out, trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So I haven't been in here in the studio much. I've been kind of
Using up that water.
Oh man. 2 rain barrels gone already. It's raining right now, so they're filling up already. But yeah, it's been great though, at getting everything started, getting the garden going. It's been awesome, man.
And we're real close to celebrating a Central Florida frostless winter. Just got to get through April.
Wow. And there's not much coming up. Like we're seeing high 80s and even 90, I think was said the other day.
I mean, it can happen. Something can snap off and dip down and give us a light frost to dust, but probably not.
When's that last chance?
April, basically.
Anytime in April. So April might get one more.
But dust, a little light, tiny dust of frost, but we ain't even got that. That's here now.
What does that mean for gardeners, and what does that mean in general for like maybe even larger like nurseries or strawberry farms? Everybody
had a good start, and sometimes like tomatoes, you could start some in January, maybe start some in the middle and then some in the end, and the ones that you start in the beginning, if they get too much cold, they'll kind of go into a coma and then equal the ones that were planted later. So good starts are a big deal.
Yeah.
And anybody that's trying to push a crop like a fruit tree to really get going before summer hits so it can be bucked up for the next winter or whatever.
In the transportation industry, in the brokerage and transporting vegetables and fruit, Florida's time to shine is in May. And so it starts in April is when, things are starting to get picked. But a big frost will push it, and it will almost cut April out and push it all into May, and then May will be this condensed, crazy, mad rush of getting as much produce out of Florida before it gets too hot, and then everything will start, getting hot and heavy up in the Georgia area. The corn up there will start hitting.
Yep.
All the watermelons will start pushing up. All your blueberries and tomatoes. Then you're getting into North Carolina. Then Maine is going to start with their blueberries coming up, and Michigan gets real hot and heavy with their blueberries. It's kind of an interesting watching, the seasons change like that, and just how it affects every year. It affects the industry a little differently.
And us right here, we love April and we love May, and we hope that we get the more springtime weather all the way up through June, because we know that the sloppy, hot, wet is coming.
Yep.
We hope it's delayed.
Yep. We got a solar eclipse coming up this year. Kinda. I know it's not hitting us direct, right?
Yeah, I saw the path of where it was going to be.
I think
nuggety.
Texas area and Missouri through Missouri.
Northeast to southwest.
Okay.
That's what I saw a little.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
And so they'll see I got some of those. I've been seeing them online as the glasses for it.
Yep.
And they're pretty much the same as like the type to do when you're welding, you know. Jared bought them for the last eclipse, so we could all go outside and watch it, you know, in the office. And
I don't know. Are we going to have you said an okay?
I think we're going to see a little bit, a partial. I think we see I don't know what the percentage of it is, but it's going to be pretty cool.
I used to do the shadow thing. I think when I was a kid, something where you make a shadow of the eclipse so you can watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what. I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
You're making me remember when I tried to bake an egg in the summer on a hot day on a pavement. Did not work.
Did it work? Not at all, huh?
No, but if it would have been black and maybe hotter.
I've noticed that people make stoves out of reflection, right? And like I'll watch some of these little homestead videos on YouTube when I'm in all my gardening vibes and getting really into it. And I've seen some guys going, "Oh, I'm going to use my solar stove," and all it is like some kind of magnification or something that hits a metal area, and they cook from that area.
I think I've seen George Clooney use one in a movie out in the desert. He tried to, and it was busted, or he didn't know how to use it. Comes to mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So what
the
is
goat
that?
movie or whatever?
Yeah,
maybe
man.
it was that one.
I've never. I guess
Me neither. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
Knife Mike, who you met, he gave me a mango tree. Must have been like 7 years ago, and it's finally getting some flowers.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's supposed to be one of them galaxy ones, a black one.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Everything outside is
Michael Raymond knives.
How's your star fruit is it starting to bloom? And
I think what's coming on strong right now is I think the leches are starting to bloom.
Okay. You gave me the guava. Yeah. Was it a Barbados guava, or what type of guava is it?
You mean the local one?
Yeah. The one that you have out on your property that's...
Yeah, it's from, I think it's originally maybe from Argentina. And some people call it a cattle guava, but there's like the reddish one and the ones we got that are yellow. I can't remember what they're
And
really
they're not
called.
that big, right? They're smaller.
True. And if you put them to the cheesecloth and get
that's what's up.
And yeah, some of them I think they put out like twice a year, but most of them have a big thing in the fall.
Here's what's cool with that is you gave that to me 2 years ago. I put it out back, and I put it in an area that didn't get heavily watered, but it's close to a water source. So I thought maybe the root would get down and catch some of that and really take off. But I was wrong. It didn't really, thrive in that area, and I wasn't giving it the care. So I moved it to another area. And I noticed the growth of it towards the end of last season. Well, since it was so nice this winter and nothing got damaged, even my cranberry hibiscus that usually just is completely gone has completely thrived. Like I was cutting them all down because I started seeing the tips dying off, and I'm like, let's just get these seeded. I have fresh cranberry hibiscus seeds all throughout my beds right now, just because how warm it never got cold enough to really hurt anything. And so that guava you gave me, it's got just fruit flowers all over right now. It's blown out. They're white, you know them.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
And this guy, is it Mike? No, it's not Mike, but Preston. It reads Surf and Cycle down there.
We've talked about this guy. I think I have a card I just saw the other day of him that you gave me of his.
Yeah, he does custom cycle work and he surfs, and he's a cool dude. And he
has some loonies surfboards in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
He gave me a mango, I think, from a tree in over there by Lasita.
Uh-huh.
And man, I want to graft one of them onto what we got.
I gave you a seed too, I think. Or did I? It was like a yellow fruit, and I brought you a seed for it, and I think it's a mango seed. And I planted one, and it popped back here. Mr. Perry has like Valencias. He's got like 7 or 8 different types of mangoes and avocados as well. Some of the Edwards and some of the other really good ones.
Tedwards.
Yeah, the Tedward. Yeah. Avocados. And I plant, and he goes, this type of seed, when you plant it, it will fruit immediately from seed. And it's like a rare type of mango, but it's real yellow and sweet.
Crane could crack it up with you, but I
We
can't.
will.
But he's
And,
like a mango avocado guy. He's got the avocado.
And I got a couple avocados out back that probably need to be grafted that came from seed from him too. And I'm just kind of planting. I have so much planted out there, and it's all starting to thrive. And
March
and
and
really
April.
look good.
Yeah, this is our year of, well, not our year, but our month where we get like California weather, April.
Yep.
It's probably, some of the best finishing, harvesting weather, right?
Oh, it's amazing.
Before it gets sloppy.
Like the mulberries, like the mulberries from that little mini Taiwan
Andre's tree.
dwarf.
Yeah.
Every branch has like 1,000 mulberries on it. It's amazing.
He said 2 years, in 2 years, he got 50 pounds after planting it.
Unbelievable. I have 3 out there, and they're having a good season, you know. My dad, I sent you all a picture of the one in my dad's house. That one had a lot on it, and that was 1/10 of what was on those. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I got to get that.
The big mulberry trees, once you get them big, you don't got to do work. It's rainwater and sun and collecting fruit when it's putting out.
And it's got so much material, so you can chop, drop. You can, you're composting, you're remulching, you know what I mean. You're giving back without having to, go crazy with the chemicals.
Yeah, we don't like that.
It's great. I have neighbors that, for their reason, they put their yard trash out for people to pick up, and it goes to Mockingbird. You're right, mulching facility or wherever it goes, and I'll run out if I see it and grab it and bring it out back and dump it because it's full of oak leaves and amazing.
Oh yeah,
material for
compost. Burning
or throwing like you taught me next to bananas. I never knew this, but at your property when you have banana trees, all the palm fronds, you cut them down and you put them right over next to the bananas. Why is that?
The earthworms, when they turn yellow or turn paper brown or whatever, they just eat them, and it's a factory. And the grass.
And you saying that and doing it is exactly right. So I started doing that last year, and I've noticed, like, I have the turtles in the 55-gallon tank over here, and I got a couple of little, like, bluegill-ish type of guys in there, little warmouth.
Yep.
And I will go outside right under where I put all the palm fronds that are just decomposing.
Oh, the worms.
And I'm telling you, one hand lifting over, and there's 10 or 12 worms, varying sizes, some huge boys too.
Yeah.
So I put it over on one side of the property, one of those little mini gorilla tubs, because the wheels and the metal started rusting on it. I just took it down, and I'm making it like a little earthworm.
And you feed them to the fish.
Feed them to the fish, or, I'll throw them in the compost. I throw them in my little food composter just to help. And I try to only take a few, and I try to spread around where I grab them because I don't want to just, weed out all the worms in different areas of the yard.
Yeah.
But that whenever I'm like mulch, when you mulch something, worms are all through that mulch, just tearing it up.
Yeah, they eat it and then they poop it out half digested for the plant, and they just tap right into that.
And really, the more when people buy bags of worm castings from the internet or from any of your home, stores.
Yep.
Really, if you just, instead of throwing your palm fronds out front for someone to take, if you kind of broke them down or you put them around some of your trees and plants, that's going to bring the worms there by itself to help your plants grow.
I guess you could buy it for indoors if you didn't want to buy it.
Yeah,
have
like
bugs
potted
and stuff.
plants, indoor, grow it. That's definitely a good use for that for sure.
Because you don't get the critters that might get inside
The
your
nematodes and all that.
closed ecosystem.
True that. There's a
Nematodes.
yeah.
They're the thing that the local persimmons here, they don't care about the nematodes. They thrive, but some of the fancy ones, they get you exotic fruit. They don't. So that's what Crane, he just he grafts all kind of persimmons to the locals, and so that they hook into their.
I would love to watch him sometime do some grafting.
He's got all kind of techniques. Yeah, a bunch of different kinds.
I tried that one time out back, and with 3 spots, from mangoes from Mr. Perry's house. brought the grass here, grafted them up. I just
It's a lot.
I didn't feel very confident in my first time, and they didn't take. So
Timing, techniques.
yeah, I would like to just. I'm a good watching someone do something, then I can repeat it kind of, and I think it would be a cool experience to watch the pro.
He's always talking about over by the lake. We got these. I forget what they're called. They're called a Mornington Bay fig, I think. I guess they're all over the east coast of Australia, related to regular figs or whatever. But he wants to do one of them things where you put the sphagnum moss on the deal and make it root. And when you separate it, you pretty much got a little tree.
Yeah. That's awesome. I've seen a little bit of the stuff. I mean, it's grafted his bananas are huge over there. It's awesome.
Yeah, they're blowing up.
Yeah, man. I'm actually looking. Okay, here it is. Andre, in our group text with our friend Andre, he also sent, other than that mulberry video and clip, some of those Hawaiian variegated Buddha belly sugarcane. And I looked that up, and it's like the rarest of rare Hawaiian sugarcane plant. Hilo Buddha is by far the most sought after ornamental sugarcane.
Buddha because it's bulbous.
Yep. Even the flavor and texture differs greatly from your regular sugarcane. So I've been making this hot sauce and stuff and messing around, and you gave me some sugarcane from your place, and it's amazing how easy it grows. So now you really puts you into a perspective of understanding why sugarcane was grown the way it's grown in this climate, because it's easy to grow. Chop and drop it, it's going to start itself pretty much. And being able to extract the juice out and use the sugarcane juice, you can use it for so many different things. It's amazing. It's really cool. When Andre sent that text showing all those cuttings of that, and saying, "Hey, Scott, if you want some," I was ready to drive to his house like right then.
Yeah.
That's how excited I am right now about gardening.
That's cool.
That I haven't had in years past. And I'm hooked. Like, I'll be out there jumping in the pool as soon as you get hot. Get out, work, and do as much as you can. All the neighbors are outside doing their thing. I love it, man.
You got a great beat going.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's a lot of fun. I'm seeing last year's and even early on this year's some of my understanding how overwatering something or over trimming something back can completely stunt it.
Yep.
And slow it down. Like they say, you have to leave at least 30%, or can only take no more than 30%, or some kind of thing I was watching. And it wasn't really the percentage that I cared about.
And when?
It was the why, and why you don't want to take too much off, and what it's going to do and I've noticed there's certain things that I've done back there that I've trimmed too much off, or trying to kind of be neat about something. And like even a tomato plant, if you take too much of it off, it's going to take a while to build back up, and you're not going to get as big of tomatoes. It's going to stunt them completely. And I've totally done that.
I'm trying to work on those chocolate pudding, the chocolate sapote, because they sprouted.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like now I got to transplant them and really, get them out in this weather.
Man.
Yeah.
And dragon fruit's killing it out back, man. I got so much more to bring you.
Cool.
Like so much more. It's killing it.
So
super exciting.
Quick weekend catch up. I chilled with Sam and Kyle from Kyle and the 8 Minute Mile.
Oh yeah.
Miles.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, Kat couldn't make it. But we had a good session and listened to some mixes and made some notes, and it was really cool. We ate some good pizza. And we made a song.
A lot of
middle
fun,
of song.
Man. And I've been, listening to, the songs and watching you guys kind of collaborate and create, you got an album almost going to be done soon.
It's almost done.
And watching the progression has been one of the coolest things. I've never been that close to a musician creating something before like this. And, first, just the talent of watching you play piano and all these different instruments, and just knowing, the passion that you have for all these things, and watching you take something that you aren't so comfortable with, getting in there.
Oh, you mean mixing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the start with, to where you're comfortable in all these, like for a lot of people, they're going to take, okay, I'm good at playing basketball. That's what I do. I play basketball. They're not doing 10 other things where I, play just this instrument. I play the guitar, there's not too many people pick up multiple instruments, but then have this passion for it so much that even, as time goes, as technology, as, changing the way, because you had a totally different way you mix, and which was amazing. And was a lot of hardware based stuff, and getting into the software, it blows my mind. It's so difficult. One little thing can take days to figure out because you're so deep into this sound and making it sound right because you want it,
Yeah, I feel like I'm just kind of stepping up to like I don't know, where it's faster and a little more, you can direct a little bit more. Maybe I'm working on better like tones now.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get the mix right, but I feel like the tones are getting better too. Just the glow coming out of it.
You could just see it. You could see it in the way you talk about it. You can see the way you're performing it. You can hear in the songs that are coming. It's awesome.
So exciting, and we got Ryan and my songs. Our songs are.
Yep.
And Ryan's coming to town. Should be on the podcast next week. Ryan Oldenettle.
I can't wait. I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
We've been seeing all the growing and all the his yard and all the cool things that he's doing out there too, and can't wait to get him over here. And his studio's amazing.
Yeah, it's fire.
Like it's like a basement, just a badass basement, man.
Yeah, carved out of the side of a mountain or a hill kind of deal.
Yeah. I mean, all the multi layers too of that backyard and all, it's just awesome.
Yeah, he's got it going on. He's got some apple trees, I think, that are starting to apple. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, just produce thrives out there in that soil.
Andre, I guess Ryan's wanting to make that happen because Andre's given him a prescription. Here's what you can grow, and
Yeah, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, and Ryan, of course, learned a lot about the weather this year. They get, I think, 50% of the rain in the spring, and it's been cold and wet.
Wow.
And he said this morning felt like a February cool morning in Florida.
Wow. Look forward to seeing you, Ryan, next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9th.
Did you know there's a plant identification software that you download, and you can take a picture of a plant and it's going to tell you all about it? Do you have one of those?
Yeah.
What is it? Picture This? Or
Yep.
I have that one too. And you pay like a yearly subscription.
Okay.
Or there's a free version.
Yeah, that's what I got.
And I've played with both of them now. I did a year subscription at one point, and then I'm back now to the free version.
You still get your plant library.
And it still has all that and everything. And I was thinking about, re-upping for another year on it, and paying another year. And just out of nowhere, I was in the backyard and I was like, ChatGPT. I had I'm like, I wonder if I can take a photo with ChatGPT and if it will tell me exactly what the plan is.
It worked?
Perfectly.
Neat.
5 out of 5.
That's cool.
Everything that I hit perfectly gave me the response. I'm not saying it's already better than anything else or anything, but I'm already paying.
Yeah, that's great
on that. But to be able to do that in the way that it described, it is. I'm going to read it to you if that's okay, because I think this is really neat. And there's called a Planty. There's a little app called I'm Planty. And your fun and friendly plant care assistant, please ask me how to best take care of your plants. So you can take pictures of your plants, and this is going to tell you how healthy, a diagnosis of your plant's health. It's absolutely amazing. And I've been watching videos on this on YouTube, and it's just all of the different things that ChatGPT is doing, man. It's just phenomenal. I know it's scary at the same time. I did out front. There's this lantana, and my dad and I were looking at it. And
butterfly bush.
but
They
total.
love that.
And I said, "What plant is this?" And just took a picture of it. So what plant is this? The plant in the image you provided is commonly known as lantana. It's known for its small, brightly colored flowers, which can be a variety of colors, often in multicolored clusters. Lantana is a popular choice for gardens, and it gives you the whole spiel, right? Gives you everything. Is it edible? I know it's not, but I just was, seeing how I could talk to
It gets those green berries that look.
And it says it is not edible and considered toxic if ingested by humans and many animals. Its berries are particularly poisonous when they are green. Always handle plants with care and blah, 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 pets and blah, blah, blah. But it gives you this whole safety, thing. And I could sit there and and I can do it through voice or through text in ChatGPT and just have a conversation with it about that plant and get every answer that I want. So it's like when you're talking to somebody and you're back and forth and, and you're talking and getting back and you don't understand something, having an assistant that really can clarify that conversation and move it along is kind of interesting. It's scary at the same time.
It's like a tricorder with Spock back in the old days.
I mean, it's just your little assistant, man.
There over there by Eastern College, there used to be a drive-in theater, and I remember that it closed down. And that's thinking of Missy now, but we used to go butterfly with our butterfly nets because there's lantanas over the whole thing.
They were growing wild out back, and I just started taking some of them and throwing them out front and just kind of put them in different areas.
They get a smell.
They have a cool smell.
When you smell them, they're real particular.
When I was in Kentucky, my mom used to have them, I think, in some kind of potted plant or maybe in her beds up there somewhere, because that smell, as soon as I smelled it out back, I went, man, this is a weed, I think. I don't know where this came from. But I know that smell. And then I was at Lucas Gardens, and they were hanging in potted plants, lantana, for like $40 for a hanging potted plant of this stuff.
Those are actually lantanas.
Yeah. In lantana. Yeah, man, it's so crazy. Good times, man. I love hearing all that about your music leveling up, man. And I know we got so many things, other irons in the fire and things that we're working on. You have a studio, you're getting so close to done. Like, how much more you got to do?
Not much. I think the control room is done.
Cool.
Pretty done. I got it later. I'm going to put some baseboards on, but I'm going to get my gear in there probably this week.
Okay.
And the rehearsal room is like, I think it's down to like muriatic acid, paint the floor.
Cool.
Put the baseboards on.
If you need help with the move of the equipment and stuff, let me know.
Definitely.
Come out and help you.
Great. I'll be calling Young Bucks from Kyle 8 Minute Miles too.
Cool.
Because I offered their backs. I was like, yeah.
Great.
Because mine's cracked.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
No doubt, man. For sure.
Cool. Thank
you. As it starts to get warmer too, let's, I know with the back and everything, but I'll come over.
No, I'm good though.
Help me, show me some areas. We'll get that tiller out that's over there, and we'll get a couple areas, and just run a couple areas clean and get some things planted there. Maybe throw some dragon fruits and some, I can go behind them and throw some 4x4 posts, and maybe get 4 or 5 of those going. So within the next couple of years, maybe we'll have a row of 2 of those. I think we're doing we're calling that, what is it, Alligator Alley or Dragon Fruit Alley or something?
On the flanks of the shooting range.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll probably be able to burn them piles soon because it's a little rain. It was getting a little bit dry the last couple of days. I'm glad we got that little bit of
cool.
Yeah.
And then we'll start working on the nursery and all that. Man, I look forward to all of it. I'm
psyched about all of it.
The more I get this done and get this under control, and now I'm getting to a point where I'm real close to just going, I just got to maintain, let things grow. I got all my stuff for the most part. I got 15 more bags of mulch in my truck. I get that no float cypress mulch. And I did 35 bags on Sunday. And I got 15 more that are just going to go on this side of the house only. And just, I got so much hay and all the cut down palm fronds and everything that's just all underneath it. And there's so many worms. Just going to throw all that mulch on top of it and just protect it all.
That's rich.
Yeah, man. And then wait for Andre to get, so I can get that sugarcane.
The Buddha.
Yeah. I got to have it.
It's cool looking.
I got to have it.
It's neat looking.
That's all I think
about.
It's got
stripes, right?
Yeah. cool, man. So I got that press, man. That press is awesome. We'll be bringing it to your house too. Next topic.
It's hot ski. It's what? Rhymes with Schmitty.
Mr. Diddy.
Yeah.
No Diddy, no doubt. I don't know. I'm sure listeners have been kind of paying attention a little bit to what's going on. Have you at all been paying attention to any of this stuff?
I don't know about paying attention, but I see all the little thumbnails and one-liners and all the did this, did that, and everybody getting psyched. But
Are you seeing that on Instagram, mainly?
not psyched, but just getting heated.
Oh, yeah.
Well, just probably on YouTube and this right on
Oh,
Google.
YouTube for sure. Yeah. YouTube's big.
Everybody's chatting about it, but I haven't listened to anybody really talk about it except that one time when do you even know what a plant is? When he talked about it.
Cat Williams
Yeah.
on that Shay Shay.
Yeah.
That was kind of not the start of it, but that was a big
Yeah. That was a
thing.
spark.
That was a big thing.
He knew it was coming, huh?
He's pretty much
Shake down.
yeah. So there's a lot of prediction. There's a lot of conspiracy theories.
Heart of it is what? A bunch of like sex trafficking and
Yeah,
and
and
really,
the one thing that we can say is it's all alleged, right? It's all. This is. I
who
have no
knows?
idea
Yeah,
what happened.
I don't know, but
All I'm doing is
it's hot.
I've been watching. Things get pretty active in Twitter and X. You know, Elon Musk.
So what are you hearing?
owned.
What do you? What's the vibe?
So pretty much like Diddy was groomed as, supposedly as a young man into how to keep control in the music industry as a record label producer or whatever you want to
Who groomed
call
him?
him. I don't know the guy's name that is above him, but there's a history of
Okay.
before he went to college, he was working in a studio.
Oh, neat.
And the guy in the studio, was a radio somewhere, like it was a big deal.
Okay.
And so the start of it is they're thinking maybe he got some of his personality traits from this guy who is kind of known for what he did. I don't know too much. I can't speak on
Business
too much of that.
stuff you're talking about.
Business / like control, how to blackmail somebody
Oh.
to keep them in your
Greasy stuff.
greasy stuff.
Okay.
So a lot of the things that are being alleged for him to do is he would host parties and then he has video in every room. So he records everything that's going on, and they could be just a consensual
I
situation.
know where you're going with all the
And-
CIA informant
and-
getting everybody to get blackmailed because they got dirt and
Yes.
images and
They
whatnot.
came in and collected all that stuff, and I think they wanted to get all that so they can get what's allegedly happened and what's being put out there. But they're also, I think there's a potential for this to be an Epstein-like situation to where there are names that high up people don't want to be shown, and who knows how big those names are. But there are names on Twitter that are being dropped and being shed, like when Epstein is in a picture with somebody, everybody in that picture.
Did you hear that? Sorry. Never mind.
I'm not sure. Maybe the dogs, the hair or their claws. But they people like Ashton Kutcher has been friends with him for a long time and known to be a part of his parties and be at his parties. He's good friends with Jay-Z. 50 Cent is like a rock star online right now because he is, all his old stories and accusations are all coming true right now. But then he's got some weird stuff too, to where his, got a woman that he dated that he has a kid with. Well, now she is an alleged sex worker for Sean Diddy now, and it's all being accused, and they're denying, but he's coming out going, "I can't believe you," and like there's accusations that he's going after custody for all that stuff's kind of happening. You don't see a whole lot of famous people coming to speak out in positive for him. His house gets raided, in 2 places to collect all this data. His own kids get handcuffed, in the process. And, you know, when you see the videos, I mean, depending on what he did, there's, you know, some people can say it's too forceful. I don't know either way or really have an opinion other than it seems like in the video when they were handcuffing the boys and everything, they weren't being rude or aggressive to them. You know what I'm saying? They were being pretty cool and they turned around and put their hands back. There was just but you know, it's when you get the mass crowd to watch it and talk about it live on Twitter or on a platform, it can be, you know, worded up and vibed up to be a lot bigger than it is. So a lot of people are saying it's being a little too rough on these guys. I don't know. Whatever.
Nobody knows, but something's going to get peeled out, right? Somebody's going to try and.
He hasn't been arrested. His one of his guys that carries drugs for him allegedly.
I saw that the blue cocaine guy,
yeah.
ex something, a singer or some kind of professional.
Yep, some DJ or something, or DJ, producer or something. I don't know.
Stopped him before he got on a plane. He had some of that. Well, I guess it wasn't white.
He had
some
weed
pink.
and some kind of edible, some kind of gummy or something like that.
Benign.
Yeah. So, but regardless, all this stuff is coming out, and now all these accusations about, like, you know, because one of his ex-women pretty much alleged all the things that he did on these freak-off parties, and where it's like you hire sex workers to come in, and then all of, you know, them and his girls have a shag fest while you watch and in a power position, control the room. You do this to this, you do this to this, and I tell you what to do and you do it, kind of thing.
I remember we were trying to make ends meet, you and I, and we had to clean that room up. That wasn't fun.
Yeah. They
sorry. Little curveball.
I was just watching and pointing at you to do it. But yeah, man, that's like I guess like when you are that powerful and have that much, whether it's money, whether it's that many people look up to you, I guess I can see where some of these guys that are really in their heads think that that's okay. Like, I'm untouchable. What are you going to do? And you're collecting all that information. You're getting all these high-end people that you're vibing with. He's friends with Obama. You know what I mean? They all were hanging out, and you know what I mean? I'm not even remotely accusing him of anything, but I'm just saying, like, there's photos and they were friends and known to be friends, and all these people are friendly towards each other, I should say, in public, because that's all I would know. But as far as like the look of this and what's happening, I feel like Suge Knight has a podcast in jail, and he even has said, like, you probably should be careful with your life right now, because there's a lot of high up people that are on those cameras that know that you know all this stuff.
Keka.
All right, a little bit of a break here, but just to finish this comment, I want, when it comes to this Diddy thing, we'll get into it more later, because I know we're going to have our friend Che join us for maybe a little part of this episode.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes, but I think he changed the hip hop. Like, hip hop is so tarnished because so many people are connected and there's so much being said online. I feel that there's an opportunity for another a genre of music to really take a chunk out of that hip hop market. I think like a lot of people that are even hip hop fans are going, man, we're hurting right now.
or for like a new wave of hip hop energy to come out with
maybe a new wave of hip hop energy, hopefully, because I do love it, you know. But at the same time, you're seeing like reggae get this reawakening and like a beach rockish kind of 311 Sublime. You're seeing Stick Figure, Cashed Out, Revolution. You know, Dirty Heads is just killing it still, you know, for all this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in Florida, like my daughter Allie, you know, her mother, Lori, so many people, women that in my, you know, circle. Stick Figure's my favorite band. This, you know, Dirty Heads is my favorite, and they're playing, calling. They all know all these amazing bands are playing in all these places in Central Florida, all up and down the beach and everything. And they got like hundreds of thousands and millions of followers on these platforms, on your Spotify's and your Apple Musics and stuff. I see some of their music is so good. I'm seeing them get credits in movies that are being released and that are big, you know, because they have a really good sound to them. And the younger generation, you know, like what are they? Not the millennial, even younger than the millennial. I feel like those generations are coming, Generation X or something like that.
So what?
And then my son is Alpha. Those generations coming up, I think there's going to be a push of some of this. My money's on this reggae vibe that's kind of happening because it's a feel good type of music that a lot of people love listening to. Bob Marley, you know, all these big names that have such this good energy. I feel like a lot of people are bringing their positive energy to music, and it's needed. You know,
so that's where you're going all the way back to the tarnish here. You're saying there needs to be a shine up.
Yeah, we'll see.
And we appreciate this good vibe of the, what do you call that stick figure reggae?
I don't even know the terminology.
So easy to hear.
Surf rockers. I don't know what the label.
I'm cool with it coming into my ears, you know, because it's great. It's cool. It chills.
Yeah, man, it really is. So let's take a break and wait for Che, possibly.
Perfect.
All right, man.
All right.
Get closer. Playing the piano. That 3, 2, 1. It's all fine, 'cause it's jamming all the time. Go get a piece of mine. Here we go.
Welcome back. We got Che with us, and me and T have been muted so we could hear your lovely voice there, buddy. How you doing?
Your horse sense,
My
right?
horse.
Yeah.
Your horoscope.
I've been doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Good to see you, man.
Hey, good to see you. It's been a while.
What you been up to, man? Like, we were kind of talking about Diddy and all, but I think we kind of finished that narrative with my hypothesis.
He predicts that there's going to be a change.
What, in the person or in the...
Exactly.
That's well.
I don't know. I'm just making that up.
I like it. Keep going. Let's see where you get. Let's see where this ends.
Well, it goes. I think it goes in one or two paths. They undergo a change and they announce that they have a life-changing experience and they're different.
He's not going to change,
or they're going to double down and say there's nothing
here. What else? And it's a prediction, and who knows. I kind of like T said something I didn't even think of when we were talking about it. Is like, I feel like hip hop in general, it's had a huge heyday for a long time. That 90s when Dr. Dre and Snoop and NWA and that music was coming from somewhere, you know, and then, it kind of started turning into, I mean, I wouldn't say it was perfect by any means, you know what I mean? But it was a vibe and a generation that me growing up had experienced and thought it was really cool. A lot of the things. But the underbelly of that industry is being, questioned right now, and rightfully so, in a big way. And I think that is going to bring distrust to that genre over time, unless what T said was there could be some young, heavy, very hungry people that could step up during this time and take the stage away and be that next generation.
And the old schoolers put some vibe in it that needs to be there. Right?
Couldn't agree more. Because you got to have the right mix with any team and any setup. You got to have some experience, in the mix.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Or what I was saying is, I've had a note in my personal experience being in Central Florida. I've noticed this last year, going to the beach, going to concerts, all these amphitheaters around here in Central Florida, Apopka, St. Augustine, you name it, they're everywhere. Stick figure, these 311
esque
sublime type of vibes. It's got some reggae in it. It's got some people say surf rock. I don't know what the genre is, but it's really kind of cool. As I'm seeing like Stick Figure, for one, just out of nowhere a few years ago, my daughter said, "Oh, it's my favorite band." Okay, well, you're 14, 15, so you are right there in that market of what's cool and what's not through your school and everything. And she's listening to your old Deftones. Like when you see the playlist that she's got all the old stuff that's good too, and like she has this really good mix of music. Like she loves a Queen, and it's mainly from watching that movie that came out.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
And and that's one of the positive sides of cinema, is that sometimes it can reignite an interest in classics or interest in the past. People who may never have heard Queen or may have heard only one song of Queen, they watch a movie that's partly true about the band, because there were a lot of inaccuracies in that movie.
Yeah.
But it gets them into
the artist,
and starts listening to tracks, and behold, you cultivated a generation of humanists, and it helps people become interested in the classics and to history and to just giving them a reason to learn.
That's a good addition to this conversation, because there's another thing on Spotify, is there's been a resurgence of musicians that have put out original music, and maybe it just didn't get any attention. There's been a comeback with some of these bands that have stuff out there, maybe didn't have much. All of a sudden they're getting popular and hitting some of these Billboard charts and some of these statistical charts that normally didn't do that in the past. And they're like, "Oh man, this was great." And it's like, people are looking right now for new, good music. People are looking for it.
Even if it's old, new, good music.
Even if it's old, new, good music, because that's new to them. You're exactly right. And there's so much of it out there that just maybe hasn't properly been heard or given the time yet. Or a lot of people make music for what works for them. It might not work for that genre at that moment, at that time, but like you see all these old Fleetwood Mac songs get used on social media and these platforms. And then, they might have had, 100,000 or 100 million views. Well, now they got listens. Now they got 1 billion listens. And it's because of it getting watched on TikTok so many times. And then people going and putting it on their playlist, on all the different platforms. It's amazing. It's cool. It's one kind of good thing for music, but the money isn't being properly siphoned from what it sounds like, for that. But at the same time,
it's getting siphoned. You mean spread out?
Well,
and at the same time, though, these big platform companies, they keep spending so much money, investing so much in technology to keep up with the pace, to stay afloat and to be relevant, that they prefer to hold that money back than to give it to the musician. If the right platform could be robust enough and smart enough to just say, "Hey, I don't need to be the richest man in the world. I don't need to be in the conversation. I want like my 5% or my 10%. Let the company pay for itself. I don't need to be the richest guy in the room, and just let the musicians get as big of the chunk as possible. I think it would thrive because the musicians would join it. They'd bail on the others. You know what I mean?
Oh, it would.
It could work,
Well,
but there's not many entrepreneurs that are greedy,
oh yeah, and then or not.
or feel like they need to be the biggest guy. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, that's the thing about, and it might be quite a leap that I say this, but I mean, when it comes to businessmen or entrepreneurs and they see something to invest, it's not so much how can I make this popular for the whole world to enjoy, but more like how can I exploit this and take advantage of it? Because I remember when I was last summer, I was listening to various podcasts and even documentaries that featured famous rock musicians, and they explained how the record companies, since they first emerged, how they took advantage of artists, how artists did not make as much as they should have made, and how the record companies made profits off of that, and they managed to succeed that because not just by exploiting their business, but also by taking advantage of the legal system as well, making sure that they have airtight contracts that allows them to take advantage, all because the artists did not read the contracts well or whatnot.
they didn't negotiate for themselves. They didn't fight because when you're new and young, you just want the opportunity to prove it first, and then you think you can go out and get that. But you sign that quick deal, that's got you locked up a lot harder than you realize and then you're in it, and then it's hard to get out.
But that's the thing about patronage of the arts, is that nowadays this becomes, how can I invest in it? I'm not saying that all art patrons are like that, but
it's a very large percentage, I would imagine.
it's more like, it's like saying, I have a great book. Oh, but you're not well known. We don't want to publish it because I don't think we can make enough money about you. But what if that book is the next great American novel? Or what if that song is the next tune that can create a new music genre? And that's the thing. They're more like seeing it through the goggles of profit. Wait, and the thing is, if your prerogative is to be a business person, I get it. But on the other hand, if you're for the arts, I mean, then this is more like a form of charity for you to give to the world, not so much of, well, you can profit from it. It's your choice. You want to be a business person, then stand by it. But don't say that you're a patron of the arts when you're very selective on what arts you can profit from. Just don't be a hypocrite about it.
It's marketing makes it to where you can be one person and look like another so easily. And it's like something that needs to be defined as one, not two different entities. Like, you're able to be this, behind the scenes, this mean, like actors get it a lot, right? You're in movies and you're this great person, but then behind the scenes, everybody hears you're this other person. It creates this weirdness about you. I'm not saying it's ultimately wrong. You can be who you want. Everybody's themselves, but at the same time, it's like a better situation would be to be, for just you to be who you are in an honest way.
Well,
and it would release some of that anger that people hold, and that, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you can be, that's true. You can be who you want to be, but don't expect people to love you for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a great way to say it.
Like, I mean, you have an absolute right to be who you want to be. I mean, well, not an absolute right.
But you don't deserve to be, for people to demand that respect. And to that be okay with it. Just, it's okay for them to not be okay with it, just like it's okay for you to be it.
That to me, and that's the thing, to me, sorry. Respect.
Demerit.
It can't be something that's automatic. It's something that one should merit, one should earn. Even like, they say, well, respect for parents should not be earned. It should be automatic. Well, the thing is that you should, I think your parents merit respect for the fact that you're alive and they're taking care of you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not an automatic thing. That's something they merited it. They actually take care of you. But again, respect is something that you earn. It's not something that should come automatically.
Yeah.
Even educators, they, the fact that they're, the fact that educators work hard to teach, to show the new generation the skills and the knowledge they need to know. The fact that they're doing this for the students, right then and there, they're doing a service. The fact that they're completing the service is a reason to respect them. But I mean, and if you look back, I mean, you say, artists can say, well, I'm a complicated personality. Well, yeah, things have complications, but where there's a complication, there's a possible solution. Why not find a solution to that complication in your personality?
Yeah.
It might take meditation, it might take therapy.
No, that's a very good point, man.
Every complication, the moment you not recognize that you have a complication in that personality, it's easier said than done to say, go and fix that personality. It takes a lot of guts to actually seek the help when you might have been in denial of it in the first place and you've just finally admitted.
Yeah.
It's a mix of pride, but it's also a mix of fear as well. The leap to make changes if need be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love all that.
We
It was better than anything that me and Thad said all night.
Well, before that,
I was just stopping by.
We're going to erase everything.
Swinging.
Start over again. Just you talk right now.
I just drove by. It's like, here's some raspberries.
Don't step in the dog poop.
10 predictions for the next 5 years of music. This is from wheremusicIsgoing.com. So we have 1 billion music
That's cool you found this.
creators
I didn't even think about this.
with the advantage of
by what year?
next 5 years, so 2020. Well, I guess it's
2028, 1 million songs per year by 2028.
With the advantage of logic, this is conceivable because anyone can be a music creator. I'm not going to
100 million songs will be released to DSPS each year. 99% will be heard by no one.
What's number 2?
Wow.
That's number 2. 1 billion music creators, 100 million songs will be released to DSPS each year. Number 3, music streamers become increasingly paid to play. That's actually, good for
Music streamers become increasingly paid to play.
If you want to listen to my music,
As they look to drive revenue and realize creators are willing to spend far more money than consumers ever will for mass consumption, they will charge like what was that up there?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Playlist pitching, annual track hosting, boost to reach your own audience.
Initial version of this is already happening, and the music industry is mostly happy to pay to cut in line for a sliver of your attention.
Wow.
The experience will deteriorate, and discerning fans will find other options. You know what this reminds me of? When fans got incredibly angry at Metallica because they went after those, or they went after those who started downloading their music on Napster. Remember? That fans just started boycotting because they couldn't get their songs for free. I had to stand by Metallica for that one. They were, how can they play for the fans if they're not making a profit? They should get something out of it. That's what it reminds me of, because eventually, imagine if you want to listen to someone's song, you have to basically pay your cut like at a machine at the carnival.
Yeah.
Which, it's actually a fair trade if you think about it. Number 4, this one's...
I just read number 4 ahead while you guys were talking, so I wasn't paying attention.
Go ahead, Scott.
I can't do 2 at once sometimes. That's insane to think about, but true.
Taylor Swift is the last of music's global superstars.
Like what? Like that phenomenon is not going to be the same ever again?
Yeah, we will never see an artist gain this level of multi-generational awareness again.
Well, the other thing about generations...
It's a big claim.
The previous generations haven't heard of Taylor Swift, obviously. She wasn't around then. But how many future generations will look back?
It said artists will sell out arenas, sell tons of albums, get billions of streams, and have tons of fans, perhaps more than Taylor even. But most people will not know who they are. So they're saying the market is going to be fragmented in a way, and so many people doing it, because really think about it, from buying a piece of hardware to just having an app on your phone to make music now. You know what I mean? As easy as that, and releasing a song off the phone, you can completely do that.
You can
Now with AI, you can just create a song through ChatGPT. So now the writing process, the processes for creating lyrics and little setups for songs and hooks are going to be a lot easier because you can say, give me 1,000 options. Okay. You know what I mean? And you can just look and say, oh, that's the right one, instead of having to sit there and hash it out in your head or have these notebooks with pages that you're going through with your, ideas. Like people are some people will still go that way, and that'll be the magic because that's coming from a human soul, right? But then it's going to be so much easier, and so many people take the easy route. We'll just create things off of that, and those are going to get popular in this weird way.
I mean,
and it's almost going to be like winning the lottery of being like a musical talent.
Cut, copy, paste.
I'm sorry, Scott. I was about to interrupt you. My bad. I also,
No worries.
Oh no, you're great.
it relates exactly to what you're saying because on YouTube I even saw that I forgot the music the channel, but basically I saw a couple renditions of popular songs into 1930s 40s style. So like for example, Bare Naked Ladies, it's 1 week. It's been 1 week since they sing that song, but like in one of those speakeasy bands, those 1940s or 1930s.
Yeah.
Band with the bass.
You're going to see barbershop quartets coming back, man.
Oh Jesus!
AI version. Oh man,
I don't know why, but barbershop quartets always just I don't know. They have to me.
they're the best, dude.
No,
They're the best.
unison.
At my office for my birthday, I'm Valentine's Day, right? So the office all pitched in, and I watched the doors open, and I watched 4 or 5 guys walk through the door with like a card and some flowers. I'm like, oh, someone got a barbershop quartet for like one of the girls in here, like their boyfriends or husbands or somebody. And they walked right around to my desk and stared right at me and sang to me. And I was so embarrassed. And everybody in the office just die laughing. I was so embarrassed. I did that to even my ex-wife when she worked at Sears. I had the Sears workers up there on US 1, in the old Miracle City Mall or Searstown Mall, go in and just write the electronics department and sing to her, and got like a couple of pictures of it somewhere. So embarrassing, man. It's the best.
We were
So now I know what we're going to do for you. You hate it?
I hate barbershop.
You hate barbershop quartets?
I can't stand them.
Oh, when's your birthday?
Don't tell them. Don't tell. No, I mean,
I'll find out.
I'm not saying that it's terrible music. It's to me, I don't enjoy barbershop quartets. I just don't like the sound of the.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song? No, because you're gonna find the barbershop quartet.
You're gonna ruin it for me.
You're not gonna ruin it for you, just like Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh. Oh man, we can do that. That's not hard.
But I mean, the thing is, like the fact of the matter is that there's always going to be a big name. I don't think Taylor Swift's going to be the last global superstar. I agree, she is a global superstar, but I don't think she's going to be the last one. There's always going to be a sensation. After what you have Taylor Swift, you've had Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury, Elvis. Who else was a massive name in the entertainment industry? What's a singular name? That was a global superstar. There's always going to be someone who has a hit song and a new style and that will appeal to the majority of a new generation.
And they'll put that giant show together and do laps around the world.
Yeah, I mean,
more laps.
But sometimes that's how an era is defined by those who help build the culture of the next generation. It's just a continuous trend of culture. That's the importance of knowing art, because while history is all about knowing people, dates, and events, art is the closest way to reveal how people thought, what people believe. Not just one group of people, but various groups of people based on the various types of art that you study. Imagine a millennium from now, people are studying what life was like in the 80s or 90s. And one of the subjects is music. Of all the bands in those decades, how many mindsets, philosophies, points of views of people during that time reflected by the musicians whom they listened to? Art is basically a track record for the soul of a collective,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift will be one of those representatives in the future, just like I said, Freddie Mercury has, just like how Elvis has, and many other great names. And
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is, whether people like her music or not, is a great name in music.
Yeah.
Because she has billions of fans to support that.
Where are we at with Madonna now?
Madonna, I forgot that name.
I keep seeing stuff, and
Where are we at? Scary, right?
I love her music,
Yeah.
and I dig her. And
Her music growing up, I'm not even saying that it's bad now because I haven't listened, but I can't say it. But growing up, she was like this icon.
inspiring. Yeah.
She was just, her and Cyndi Lauper were like a
Cyndi
couple
Lauper,
of
that's
her.
another one.
You had Dolly Parton. I remember me and my friend Josh across the street, we were like 12, 13, and his mom had like one of the Enquirer magazines, and it said,
National Enquirer.
it said Dolly Parton in agony after breast reduction. And I just remember giggling like a schoolgirl. Oh, she got her boobies smaller because they're so big. And you're like 11 or 12. She's such a talent. And she, all the Dolly work, everything that woman has done and what
Legend,
she continues to do, she is an icon in this industry. Cher has like a young boyfriend now. She's an icon for all of the things that she's done and put out over the years. I think so.
There's another.
She's done it on the acting side and she's done it on the music side. She had the music show with Sonny, right? Sonny and Cher.
I don't know, Sonny Bono.
I was thinking about that this morning. For some reason, I heard that little song they sang.
Yeah,
don't know why.
There's a lot of stuff on her. Like she had that one motorcycle movie, Easy Rider, or something with your boy.
She chilled with Val Kilmer, right?
Who, Cher?
Yeah, for a long time, right?
Sam Elliott
No, I never.
and her did a movie together with that guy with the face thing that was wrong with him.
Yeah, the elephant.
Yeah, something.
Not Mask. You're not thinking of the movie Mask with Eric Stoltz, or
No, it was Cher and
Elephant Man,
I think
right?
Sam Elliott, and then it was a motorcycle movie, all the bikers and stuff.
okay. So
It was a great movie. I love it.
I know. Okay, the Elephant Man's John Hurt, but he must have been in his 50s at the
Man, yeah, it's all kind of
It
running
feels in
together now.
1990. Look at this one, number 5.
Okay, yeah.
The Great Artist Unbundling will see a major shift in the artist fan experience away from mega platforms that bundle
Mask.
all artists together as content to artist-centric platforms that bundle each artist's music, art engagement, membership, and commerce. Most passive consumption will still happen on mega platforms, but 6 mega platforms and majors miss out on the super fan opportunity. Now, this is an understandable change. If more and more people are able to produce music, like I said, thanks to new music programs in which they don't really need to know how to play an instrument, just understand music theory, and have an ear for music. If we have an increase of artists, the more artists you are, how the few, to put it gently, the few will become stars.
Yep.
Have a massive.
The cream.
Imagine if everything is of a. Imagine everything is of a great value brand. I'm sure that some of all those billions of artists, you'll have great musicians, but how many will appease to so many people that there won't be big turnouts? That'll be just the fandom will dissipate. It'll be just stretched out.
Can hear me out on this fandom stretching out. I feel like I'm real smart. I feel like right now, and I feel like I have this solved. And Jay, you and T are going to look at me and go, Scott, you're wrong. But hear me out. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, every music platform that is out there right now, their focus has been podcasts is the big thing. We got to get podcasts put on our stuff, but their music part of the business, I feel like at the core base of designing the software from the inspirational idea itself in the first place was never with the importance of shining a light on new talent. I feel like it's all based on making your playlist, your favorite music, your favorite songs, putting it all in one area to download. Like it's a continuing advancement of Napster. So Napster was out there and everybody wanted all their favorite songs and all the songs that they want. It wasn't about getting the new release song first or any of that. It was just about like, not going to a CD store and paying $15.99 for a CD. It was downloading it for free. Well, now for $9.99, I can still be like Napster and download as much as I want for that whatever monthly cost, or if I want commercials on my stuff and have it be free. That's your selection. That's your advancement from Napster. And then it's about curating that playlist. Now they might have on their app, new music sections for people to go to, but to me, that's not curated towards given any speciality. It was like they're still solving old problems and they're not thinking about future ones yet in these applications, in my opinion.
Oh no, I mean,
You're dead wrong.
We're producing.
Just kidding.
We're promoting more artists than people are going to have way too many options. And
what did everybody have in the old time? MTV, and then VH1,
in like 1990s,
and country music.
Early.
So you had every genre had a TV channel, pretty much.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Was that right?
To me, MTV was all about. My brother would watch MTV. It was mainly for the music videos.
It was so blown apart back in the day. I know you remember this, but you don't, Che. Like for instance, remember FIT used to play cool music, like Sundays, and you could pick it up from Titusville with a big antenna or whatever.
You're right. I don't remember.
And you had to or when back in like the early '80s when WDIZ was the big thing around.
Oh yeah.
It was rock music, but
Ron and Ron.
You were not getting what they're playing on in LA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You had to be there or get someone to send
Oh yeah,
you a cassette tape.
like radio stations being a part, like whether it was the Clear channel, what was whatever Clear channel before, or whatever was ever another app or another communications company, whether it's like for pretty much terrestrial radio, and getting all like your radio stations hitting, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm just saying, back in the day, to find good music, I just remember my brother Jeff would go all over the country, and he'd be in hot music spots. He sent us cassettes. He would record. What's that one radio station out west? They have their antenna in Mexico.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember, but we had to get like tapes from them. There wasn't this nice internet thing where you could
exactly.
It was exactly great now.
So it was all separated out. Each area had something popular, but
mixtapes.
But everybody, when something got hot, like a good Elvis song or a good something song, it hit most of the major
commercial
networks
in the system.
And that's even before. Like I'm almost drawing from maybe a late, like my era. And what you're saying is, man, even rings even more true. It's like a really the time when just things were kind of getting off the ground and figuring it out, and how am I going to get here, and how much money am I going to make, and that whole setup, I guess. But like on the TV side, that was like some of your first platforms that were nationwide, where you could get like a whole country behind you. When it was all music videos, those music videos made you want to go see them live. Then they started having those DJs where they were coming in like a news and giving you music news.
Kurt Loder.
Then they had all those VJs.
Kennedy.
Yeah. What's there was Simon something. So many big ones, man.
But yeah, it's interesting because
Pauly Shore.
They're basically from what you described. What you have there are just different worlds of music, but clearly designated as such. And what it says here for number 7, because how strangely how it ties is that AI artist plays Coachella's main stage. Imagine, when you go to a music festival, that's just another clear distinction. Different artists, different areas. But imagine all that is gone because all you have is just an insipid computer program just finding out a pattern that plays tunes that people enjoy, and you create another song, but there's nothing to cheer on.
But maybe, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. But an AI, maybe a virtual performance, that could still be a cool party.
It could be.
Oh, it's gonna be. There's huge things happening with that.
I mean, the only concerts where you don't cheer on an artist, but the music playing is that one where you have a DJ, just someone who just knows how to mix songs and line up. But imagine if you don't even have the DJ. People, yeah, you can still party to that, but
Yep.
you're not exactly excited for a performer to appear. You're just excited for
Playback.
the music to play. It's like, hey, we all like this song. I'm like, dude, you can have that at any party. What would be the point of a music festival if you have no artist to honor or pay homage to?
Apple right now, they've gone to their next they have an update that they're working on right now for their new Apple Vision, and part of it is they're putting a lot of money behind this fan experience, going to an NBA basketball game and being just at home and putting your VR headset on and being at the game and experiencing the game live as it's going. Like, there's a lot of money going towards this stuff. Well, Apple has this thing where their next update, it's going to be like where you can have up to like 5 people that are all friends, link up as friends into a room. And then, like me, as I move around, and the experience that I'm seeing is just me. The other people don't have to see it the way I see it. And everybody's going to be able to autonomously have their own experiences in a very realistic way. I'm telling you, there's going to be stages that are no bigger than this room, and people are going to have rock star performances and make a lot of money, and people are just going to watch it live.
That just reminds me of the Matrix.
It's happening.
Everyone just hooked up, like,
Totally.
Dude, you seen this? Yeah,
Yeah.
Same program.
Yeah.
To me,
You're gonna be wearing this suit where it like touches you and makes you feel like you're like there, like if someone brushes up on your shoulder when you go to get a virtual fucking beer. It's on.
I was once at a let's call it a party. It was supposed to be a get together. The story is, for the host, the host wanted all of us to hang out together at a stadium to watch a beloved team play a lesser known team with respect to that lesser known team, but they were not exactly in the main. They're like different series.
Yep.
But not everybody wanted to go to the stadium, me included. We all agreed to go to a pub,
Watch it.
just watch it, all sitting together to a place where we can enter for free, sit in more comfortable chairs, not as loud, watch the game, and have actually reasonably priced drinks, unlike drinks being sold at a stadium. Not only that, but a bigger variety of drinks, unlike drinks at a stadium. And I told the host, hey, isn't this better than sitting at the stadium? They're like, no, I wish we were still at the stadium. Like, all right, sometimes you just got to pick your moments. There's some places that I would always love to be. I would love to see every opera available. I would love to see every ballet or even every concert. But sometimes you just have to accept you're not always going to be at that game.
Yep.
You would love to be, and loving to be, believe it or not, should be sufficient versus like ruining your own day for not being there. Now, this whole thing about this virtual reality where you can be at the game, first of all, you're not really ever going to be at the game. This is just denial exacerbated. This is just you saying, I wish I was at the game. I wish I was at the game so much. I'm going to hook myself up to this machine that makes me imagine I'm at the game, even though I'm still in my living room. And no matter what, I cannot say I was at that game, because that's the whole point why people go see that game, so that afterwards you can say, I remember I was at that game. I remember when LeBron led the Cleveland Cavaliers to beat the Golden State Warriors. I was there. Well, guess what? You were if you're hooking yourself up to a virtual reality just to watch technically a recording of the game or even a live streaming of the game, you're still not there. You're just
But it's still better than maybe possibly watching it on a flat screen TV in your living room.
it might feel
Different.
It might feel better. It might feel better, but I rather
Think about this then. But with that, and see, I love this because last time we were talking, I got to bring up your pop personality, and that's some of it.
I'm not being a grandpa this time.
Yeah, you are.
No,
because in your case, then headphones and computers and tablets and computers, those were all imagined at one point, and there was a guy just like you saying, I would much rather go to an opera than sit in my house on a computer and peck things into it and look at things.
No, this
Listen
is
to a
different.
radio.
This is different.
Listen to a radio. Yeah.
No, this is different. If
No, same thing.
I can explain it. I can explain it.
I don't know if we want to let you.
Well, you're covering your eyes. That's a big deal. You're covering your eyes.
Oh, I
and
know.
You're covering your
blinking.
ears.
Like you're sweating a little bit. I see the
Not,
sweat.
no, not you. I'm saying you're sitting in your chair.
Add an extra wrinkle.
Your virtual chair. You got your eyes covered. Your ears
Yeah.
are occupied. So you're kind of a mummy in your living room. And if you're watching on TV, you can kind of be in both environments.
And I'm going to say this: when I put myself first on the Quest 2, and if you ever want to do VR, we got it here too. And my buddy Jared, if you ever want to experience the Apple Vision, he has it right down the road, and I'll take you sometime. I'm telling you, it is a thing.
I don't need VR. I can just stand 1 inch up to my
See.
No,
Come on, Boomhauer.
I'll try. No, Boomhauer spoke really fast.
Yeah.
It's a Hank Hill.
Oh, I know you're Tank. I was trying to make him Boomhauer real quick, and right next to you.
My favorite, not that it was relevant. My favorite character is Dale. Always.
Oh yeah.
Dale Gribble. But
I had a friend that said propane and propane accessories once. He might have been on a substance, but
propane and propane accessories.
yeah.
And I prefer Johnny Hardwick's Dale Gribble. But to go okay, the thing is if these companies offer, let's just say, okay, a chance, you sell an incredibly expensive. They figured out teleportation. All right, just hear me out. They figured out teleportation, and for a very ludicrous price, they will teleport you to the event. That I can accept, but wearing an
So you want to beam me up Scotty situation to be appeased?
Yeah, but the thing is that my point is that the VR is just being able to VR and watch to watch a live stream game on a VR is, to me, it's just a subconscious way of saying, I wish I was there and I'm upset about it.
So and what I was saying with the VR thing, they have this thing called walking the plank, and I want you to experience it.
Is it a pirate game?
And all it is it's a VR built out like city
Freaky.
with high rises and stuff. And when you turn the app on and the game on, you are just standing at the very bottom floor of a building with an elevator on the outside. And with your VR glove thing, you just press the button and you virtually opens up an elevator. And then you just personally, like on a carpet, walk up 4 steps. Just walk forward 4 steps. And you're in this virtual world walking 4 steps. And then you turn to your left and there's a button at an elevator. When you click that button and you turn around, you can kind of see the crack of the elevator a little bit. So you can, and when it starts going up, you feel like you are going up, even though you're standing very still.
It feels real and it weirds
feels
you out.
very real.
You look down and it weirds you out.
When you get to the very roof of this thing, there's a plank that's about like a 4x6 or 4x8 or so, and you can depending on the settings, you can make it real thin or you can make it real wide to feel safer. When you start walking and you get to that board and you're looking down to a straight and you're hearing birds and air and wind and all these things and all these senses, I got to my knees. I would not finish walking, knowing full well, and I'm laughing at this, I would not walk on my carpet right there, knowing I had all the space, nothing to run into. It had security borders. I still was shaky in my legs because I felt like I was where I was.
So the football
at
game
the
is going to
top.
be rad.
When I
that?
first walked out and I fell and it made me fall, I felt like I felt like I was falling even though I wasn't. He totally got down on his hands and knees and crawled all the way out the thing because makes you really feel that.
But how
That experience is something that is just weird. And like my son, he plays a thing called Gorilla Tag on the VR. And instead of playing like tag, regularly, it's like you use your hands and you walk. Use your hands or your legs. And that's how you get around. So he'll be up there, and I've heard him a couple times even while we're recording, laughing and yelling and having this whole back and forth. It's him and a whole group of teams playing hide and seek or tag like you would outside. He comes down, his face is all sweaty, he's all huffing and puffing, and it might not be reality outside, but it's way better than it is by just sitting at a computer with a headset on, using a mouse and a thing, messing your hands up. He's actually being active, and there's like boxing and there's like workout things that are all VR, and you feel like you're on a beach, doing some routine, or you're boxing somebody, on a beach side of this, like, or at the Madison Square Gardens, and there's all these people and stuff, and it's all virtual, and you feel it. Jared, his Apple Vision, he brings it up to the office, and when there's not too many people or lunch break, when it's not too hectic, he'll pull it out and say, "Anybody want to try the VR?" And there's there's an app that's it's so cool. The Apple Vision, it works to where your hands, you don't put anything on your hands, you don't use any controllers. Once it registers and trains you with it, when it understands how your eyes work, then everything that you're doing, if I want to, let's say I want to click on number 9 here, right? The Rise of Collectives. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to click on that, I would just look at it with my eyes, and with my hands being down at my side, just taking my hand and my finger and going like that. With my finger, it'll click number 9 by my eyes looking at it.
That is
Not by anything but that. So as I was doing that, I was like, wow, and it got it all programmed. And then Jared says, "Okay, I'm going to you're going to see a dinosaur." And it felt like, remember when you saw Jurassic Park and how realistic the dinosaurs kind of looked in there for that movie in a new way, and it was cool, right? This is that times whatever. It's amazing. It looks like a real dinosaur, and it's coming up to you and like looking at you and kind of having this back and forth, and you're looking at it and you're like, whoa, this is cool. There's something to that I don't understand fully yet, but I think after watching Ready Player One and those type of movies, and then experiencing it and experiencing like an old VR, and then this MetaQuest 2 that my son has, and the Oculus kind of setup, and then seeing this Apple Vision setup, which is the next gen, like a newer technology. And then there's all these other brands that are said to be a lot better than the Meta, but they just don't have the money and funding to be as big, right? It's pretty intense and pretty amazing. And these experiences are only going to get better and better and better before, who knows what it's going to be. There's going to be sports competitions that are going to be like, just like Rocket League for the PS4. It's like $1 million sport by playing a video game with controllers and cars kicking soccer balls. They have a TV station that gets hundreds of thousands of views a day, and it's just live video game TV. That's why YouTube, like Silas, has never watched a television station TV series that's on network television other than when he was a kid. Now, if he watches anything on TV that he cares, it's either a movie with us or he's watching YouTube channels with creators that are creating things and talking about things and talking about this game and that game. And he's immersed in a whole different world. And it's just, I don't know what it's going to be. It's interesting.
I mean, everything you describe. I mean, it's a massive technological leap. It's impressive, to say the least. The fact that you can feel the reality or feel the program reality on the VR, that is something. I mean, I wonder. It makes me curious to see, to try it out. But more curious to wonder how can it feel realistic. I'm not saying
I'm with you.
like, how is it possible that you can feel it?
It's weird, man.
Because the only
The
way to do
three
that,
body problem. Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah.
helmet?
Yeah.
the only way to do that is to somehow trick the brain.
Yeah.
To and that's the thing. That's what I want to know, because if that is in fact, I'm not obviously he's right,
Yeah.
and he ended up crawling. That being said, that like I said, I'm very curious how the creators managed to.
It is something that I didn't realize fully or even process when you put it on and you experience it. And when I do it, it's not like, oh my God, this is just, you can see the flaws. You can see the technological advances that still need to happen to bring it to even another level, you know? But when I put that Apple Vision on, I mean, I'm telling you, like, it's regular. I'm not going to go there, but like just a regular Apple TV screen that you have, like when you turn on your iPad, it's the same thing. So you're virtually looking at an iPad screen virtually.
Well,
And so all the apps are just like Apple and everything. And the headset fits, it's a lot lighter, and it's where you can actually see. And there's a setting on it to where you can turn off reality completely, like through the glasses, or you can turn it all the way to where you're augmented in between reality, to where you could walk around and see steps and see everything, but then still see in some areas or in some items very strongly or very faintly. You can adjust the combination of in and out of this reality that you're in. So you can kind of slowly get yourself introduced to it if you wanted.
I mean, that's
And there's people, you know, video conferencing and all that, where you're sitting down at a desk. Like, you're going to be able to like make a man cave, virtual man cave. And you're going to say, hey guys, I want y'all to come over. I got this 1,000-inch screen that I just installed into my man cave, and I want to watch, you know, all the Star Wars today. It's raining outside. You know, blah, 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 we can't go do this. And then you are going to just send invites to those people who have that unit, you know, and eventually the pricing is going to get to where everyone has one, like an Xbox or a PS5, you know, and PS5's had the VR for a while, and PS4 that it needs time, but these rooms are being created, and then people will come hang out in your virtual room and talk to you and have a meeting or watch a movie with you or play games with you. And talk like you're sitting here, instead of just it being headphones and everybody talking over each other. You're actually going to be like being able to look at each other and almost touch each other and feel it, or have some kind of experience of it. And it's going to be weird.
it is going to be weird.
It's going to be weird.
I mean, if one just wears the VR for that sensation, just for that for the sensation of feeling like they're there. Going back to those who want to be at a sports game, if you simply put on the VR, acknowledging you're not there, but you want to get the feeling of you're there, very well, then enjoy that feeling. But as long as you acknowledge, I'm not really there. Because the thing is, it's not just to be a downer, but it's just the fact is,
It is, man. Yeah.
It's not being
It is.
odd, because
Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like at the Magic game. We're in the finals, you know, and I'm sitting there like, oh, we just won the finals and I got to watch it. And I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden on my VR pop-up screen is a little Che emoji, and it says not there, and then just closes and leaves, and then just gives me that little bit of angst.
That's a Che bot.
Yeah, a little Che bot.
well, the thing is, you need the Che bots, because I'm just saying that we need. I'm going to tell
We
you
need
why
the Che bots.
We need the Che.
I'm going to make, that's going to be the name of the episode now, and I'm going to have little bots.
I'm just saying that. Just
The
he's
bubble
writing it
burster,
down in
right?
the book. No, I'm just saying, you need the Che bots, or whatever they're going to be called.
Needles to balloons,
Just
dream stompers.
They're not
I'm just
dream
kidding, man.
look. My whole point. You want to enjoy VR. Enjoy it. No judgment. My concern is the same concern to anyone who tries a cigarette or who enjoys fast food. Enjoy it. Don't go overboard. Because we say I mean, I understand it's annoying if if a person's enjoying a cigarette and the chatbot says you're gonna get cancer, or
Yeah.
if you're enjoying an ice cream or a burger.
Chaybot's taking over the devil angel
You're gonna get-
freaking
Yeah.
situation.
Be in
You're
the
gonna
middle.
get diabetes, or I mean, the whole point is that. Yeah, I'm concerned that we might become too detached of a society if we because
It's getting worse, isn't it?
one day
It really is.
imagine if you just
He's
have
concerned though.
one day you'll have buildings where they offer lounges, not a lounge where you can play pool and chat with people. No, a lounge where you sit down next to a person, like, hey, and then you put on your VR, and that's the most human interaction you'll get.
What do you say to the person that loves going to Waffle House, but lately at Waffle House, employees are fighting patrons at a higher rate? And let's say you experience one or two of those chair throwing events, or you go to like an old soccer game live for the full experience, and you get, faced up to a fence in a hooligan battle that you weren't anticipating. And then somebody goes, well, you know what? You don't got to do that ever again. Put this on and experience it live, or experience being there live, but being in your own home for a quarter of the price, and you don't got to injure your actual human body. And then you could go get into a hooligan fight at a soccer game with your emoji body and experience and fight with everybody and have fun, but then just go, oh, I'm still good and healthy and alive.
That sounds like
I'm going to go jog.
That's
I just kicked some ass last night at the soccer game.
That's all right. So that's
And then
Yeah, what do you gotta say about that,
real
Jay?
property, and like instead of a stadium being there to go see live because that's the way it is because Pop said so. Maybe it could be a lush forest with like little troll elves making cookies and singing songs that we could go experience live.
You got something against
be
troll
healthier.
elves, man?
Yeah.
According to Tolkien, elves can't make cookies because they do not exist until the next century.
No,
He'd have little like little Che cookies that say these aren't real.
It's anachronistic.
Yeah.
No. Okay. First of all, if you need to give an adult a VR to keep them from hurting other adults, that's the equivalent of giving.
Well, let's keep yourself from getting hurt.
It's to give like a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old who's holding a violent tantrum, giving him a toy, and telling him to go to that corner.
What do we call those guys that fight the bots with the remote controls on TV?
Unhappy?
Possibly. Possibly. It's like the the robot, what do they call it? It was battle bots.
I heard about
And the
it.
guys had this little sliding, a wheel. There's one guy that never lost, man. He just went underneath you and just flipped you upside down.
No. I mean, look, board games are games are fun. With
I'm teasing.
families. I know.
Yeah.
No. I know they're not unhappy. I just saw it. It was right there.
That's so funny, man.
You gotta rope this whole thing to number 9 though. You gotta
let's get through
the
this.
circle.
Brings me to number 9. Actually, we haven't even covered number 8.
Okay.
So the marvelization of music makes me want to cringe already. Major catalog owners churn out music versions of sequels using AI in their deep catalogs to exploit timeless material for continued profit.
The reheating.
That is marvelization.
That's interesting. That's a good point, though. Like, if you're like Eminem came out, right? When he came out as an artist, he had the Slim Shady LP, and he had this whole persona that he was and talked about in this descriptive situation. If an artist that comes out that has that kind of impact on music that he had by being a little bit different or being against the grain or whatever, coming out real hasty, instead of him having to go back to the drawing board and create like a whole nother persona and album or the next generation of himself, you could almost create storylines through your musicology, your anthology of music, and to where like music can tell a better story, a musical story through your albums rather than maybe chopping it up and maybe a lot of misses. Maybe it could make some music advance into a better, like, to where I'm like Marvel, you have to see all the Marvel movies, and there's so many of them, and they're all Easter eggs and have little hints of each other. People love that. Like,
But you might run out of. You might overuse a formula, though.
oh yeah, I
Just
could
like
agree.
Marvel has been doing. After
I mean, the sharp going to be jumped, by then.
Look at Pink Floyd. First of all,
Yeah.
before I talk about Pink Floyd, the thing about artists and their.
I mean, there was Green Floyd before him.
Yep. Lavender Floyd was big
Yeah.
in the 20s.
Yeah,
What about Magenta Floyd?
dude, your boy Black Floyd, he finished it.
Checkerboard
Yeah.
Floyd came out after that.
Checkerboard was the guy, man. He was good. He was past. He was way past his time.
All right, so
Transparent Floyd.
the one of the most traditional. I'm thinking about William Wordsworth's book of poems, Tintern Abbey. It was one of the founding
The Floyds.
books of romantic literature. It's just nothing more than a bunch of poems about him writing poems about different areas on a trail that he takes, and memories of his childhood and him connecting with nature, enjoying the sublime, some divine feeling you get when you connect with nature. And he eventually ends by going up to this old abbey that he used to hang out as a kid, Tintern Abbey. It's basically every poem is part of a journey, spiritual explanation or journey that leads up to. All the poems are connected with the same theme. No little different from Pink Floyd's The Wall. Not the same theme, but the same concept. Every song is connected to the artist breaking through the wall. He doesn't want to. He builds a wall around him, but he eventually breaks through, and there's a consequence for it. But Pink Floyd's The Wall follows that pattern. Songs that are connected, and they tell an overarching theme. Dark Side of the Moon, also by Pink Floyd, similar concept, but not the same as The Wall. And that is what makes an artist versatile. Don't repeat your formula.
Yeah.
It's the reason why Martin Scorsese is one of the best. Yes, he has done a few gangster movies, but he's also done impressive non-gangster movies that makes him a versatile director.
Sure.
Same thing as Steven Spielberg. He literally on the same year made Jurassic Park and Schindler's List. I mean,
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
And those movies are classified as one. And in the movie business, Marvel movies are thought of as a whole different thing. That's just a money grab. That's a mass market. Like that's the, and then your Schindler's List and all these Scorsese type of movies are the ones that people give the real emotion to.
Well, that's how Hollywood in the past has lost flavor from time to time, because producer says, we want you to make another gangster movie. We want you to make another sci-fi movie. People love that.
Yep.
But they don't. But as businessmen, they never fail to understand that people will also get bored with it.
Well, creativity, I feel like no matter where it comes from, as long as it's creative, it'll be attractive.
It will, and it will be attractive, but sometimes audiences, especially generations, grow old on them.
Yeah.
And they say, all right.
Well, you get your pop-up type people that don't want anything to change. Like when Windows 95 came out, Windows 98 was not the thing. It was not okay.
Well, we did cut up
At the season.
the Dracula movies and how they came on strong and then they ebb and flowed in the 50s and 60s.
That's true.
That was a good example. Like people maybe got tired of a formula or a different actor was a different actor playing the lead, but it's like gotta have your finger on the pulse, right? Your feet on the ground, boots on the ground.
But it takes a real genius and a real artist to be able to slowly to play the same formula, but with a spirit.
But what happens when artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence in a way that can create things that we can't even dream of? And then we get encapsulated with what things that we can't even dream of rather than things that we can dream of. I'm not saying that, you know what I mean?
I long for the day for artificial intelligence to get tired of trying to please us and say, figure it out yourselves. I'm tired of trying to make.
I want them just to pay us so we can do all the cool and creative things that we want.
But that's it. Well, the thing is this is the thing about the artist. One mistake that many artists do is, or at least, from what I see, is immediately they want to, they immediately concentrate only on their art and hope that their art sells. And nothing wrong with making money from your art. I mean, it's great if you become ultra rich and successful from your art. But the mistake is that if you're seeing your art as a money making scheme than actual art, then you will be influenced to make it in a way that would appease audiences and not a way that corresponds to what you want.
Was that kind of like how some of these guys that started making all these weird art, not Banksy, but like Banksy-ish, but on canvas? What was the one famous artist?
Campbell's soup stuff.
Yeah, the Campbell soup.
Andy Warhol.
Warhol. Dude, everybody said he kind of bastardized, original and creative art.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan.
But
of
now
those
people
modern
say
art.
it's some of the best shit ever.
But there was nothing like that before that either, so you got that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's just kind of,
I wasn't
that's cool.
too
Yeah.
impressed with. I mean, Warhol. People say Pollock, Rothko, Kandinsky were geniuses. I'm sure there's some genius in their art. I can't see it, but I don't.
And what's crazy is a lot of these old time artists, no one knew who they were during the time, or a few people knew. Or like if you lived in a town, there might be a handful of people that knew who you were
Che
and bought all your
one of them.
stuff, and then all of
I know
a sudden, you're
Yeah.
done, and everybody knows who you are.
Who's that?
You're
Who's
rich.
that? Obscurity when they were living and made art, and then later they blew up. An artist.
Edgar Allan Poe was one. I mean,
Boom.
he wasn't in complete
Yeah.
obscurity. I take that.
All right.
He was someone who was obscure, and it's
Wasn't like Da Vinci and some of those guys like that.
I was thinking like Emily Dickinson. She wasn't exactly like she's one of America's most popular poets now, and like they teach her in literary classes. But back then, her poems were practically private.
That happens in a lot of cases in the old days because information was still, we had some horseback, riding with the letter.
Pigeons.
Yeah, some pigeons and stuff, some Game of Thrones
Ships.
pigeons and
Pony Express.
ships, and like putting a little message in a bottle and hope it gets there.
Marathon man.
Marathon Man.
Yeah,
Someone
the
running
postman.
26 miles and then dying with a message
Yeah,
What's
with the pigeons, right?
yeah,
That's a marathon race, right?
yep. 26.2, I think.
Oh, you mean
The
like
guy-
relaying messages?
Yeah, like a pigeon. I was just
Like
throwing humans
information
in there.
traveled so much slower back then, and now, I mean, right now, when something's happening right now, like that earthquake that happened over in Japan this morning,
Yep.
people were watching it on a live feed, happen live
Yep.
while it was happening.
It was in Japan.
Yeah, like Taiwan. I'm sorry.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I think Japan, something happened up there too, didn't it? Something happened there
There-
this morning. I'm not sure what it was.
I know there's the only earthquake I think in Japan is the Fukushima.
But
It was Taiwan.
yeah, it was Taiwan this morning. But there was a Japan story this morning on Twitter in the trending area, and they were both next to each other. I just brain.
See, that's
Slap
why you shouldn't be on the VR. It gives you the wrong news.
What VR? That was just the internet. I know.
Hey, so did we wrap up 8?
But
Yep.
we wrapped up aid.
So 9.
Aid music can become.
Thanks for getting us on track, T.
Formula rise of a collectives. It says that new forms of collectives partially fill the role of labels and curators, offering collaboration and resource sharing while challenging traditional industry hierarchies. They become the artist launchpads as they have a superpower few who will hold authentic, engaged audiences. The thing about it is that there always have been collectives. This is nothing. I don't think that's new.
I mean, that's going to be, these collections. Yeah. Like even when you're buying movies now on iTunes or anywhere, they always offer you all the movies in one package for a lesser price.
Even in ancient,
so you
in ancient times with the Romans, there were in fact poets and musicians, but who paid them? They would be hired by patricians, the aristocracy, their patrons. They will be paid by rich people to compose, and sometimes the rich people would influence their work. But and people would only know that artist because they know of that patrician. And even moves into the Middle Ages and even the Renaissance and the Baroque period. There's always artists would depend on the patronage of the wealthy. They would produce works mainly for the patrons, and if you want to enjoy that work, the aristocrat or the lord to go to. Of course, that eventually stopped around I don't know. I wonder when that stopped. I mean, I don't know if they practiced the patronage system in the 1800s, but the fact of the matter is, it still exists today. Only the patrons were record companies and fan clubs.
Yeah.
Now there will be new collectives. I think that Spotify and Apple Music, even YouTube Studios, will be on YouTube. No, is it YouTube Music? YouTube Studios, where you keep a track of the stuff.
Do you think platforms will start removing some of these things, like if you're Amazon this, and this, and like let's say music's fallen, compared to what Apple's doing, or because Spotify? Do you think eventually one of them are going to, okay, we're just out of this one, we're just not making it?
It could be unless they make some sort of,
Unless the algorithm itself just is very low cost and just takes care of itself to have a music platform that plays music. And
well, Joe Rogan's podcast is not formally, sorry, it's officially Spotify. It's
and then you can watch all his clips on YouTube.
Exactly. I think these are the new. I will say that there's a rise of new collectives. We no longer have the patronage system. We are now making deals with companies that can feature our works if they like our works and are willing to pay to have our work streamed. However, can they exploit that?
Yep. So let's. Then number 10 is a pretty easy one here. And before we read it, this one, I feel like is going to go into something that we were talking about when we have Galactic Grams and we were creating collections and talking about getting a Discord server going and building a community.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, a new artist sells out arenas without releasing any music on traditional platforms. Solely through grassroots, community-centric growth, bypassing conventional platforms entirely. Instead of competing against the noise, they create their own space outside of it. Community building becomes the most important skill for artists. That's something done in the old days.
That last sentence, community building, is something that had to happen in the old days, like he just said. Like you built a community around going to this club to watch all these punk bands, to do this. You had to go here to do this. You know what I mean? It built like Discord and a lot of these things have built these applications to be so robust with sharing information, talking, typing, marketing, sharing, selling, all these things toward the right artist that can get followings. It's going to be smarter for them to not have followers join these social media platforms where their information is being sold to the height, like Netflix. You saw that whole thing. So all that's like, instead of your information being sold, people are either going to have to pay you for your information to be, you know what I mean, in a different type of way, because we're going to start, like, our generation is going to stop having the social media addiction that we have. It's changing. Even the younger kids don't care about the Facebooks and stuff the way us, middle-aged people do. I mean, it's kind of built for us, and that's why even Facebook changed from Facebook to Meta, because they see how they're losing, interactions in their platform, and it's not going to come back. It's getting too sparse. There's too many places to go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it won't, without a doubt. But I mean, well, would you guys say this is a good thing, though?
I think it is. I think ultimately it's given people, it's almost like a natural way that's saying, be yourself.
But I mean,
stop trying to be what somebody else is to be popular. Stop trying to farm how many people like something that you said. Stop trying to do this. And I think eventually it's almost bringing you to a core of be yourself, man.
I mean, one good thing is,
and whatever happens, happens.
One good thing I see in this is that this implies that if you want to know their music, you pretty much ought to be part of the community to enjoy, which helps build. I mean, imagine towns where you have artists that are popular to the town, and what if their name gets spread across through social media, and people want to see this artist? The only way you can is to visit the town or to understand the community they're part of.
Yeah,
it's without releasing any music. Sometimes, when I first read this, I first thought of those myriad of television of those streaming series, whether it's on Netflix or Hulu or Prime. So many series I've never heard of, and they're just coming out rapidly.
Left and right.
And I'm like,
It's cheaper and cheaper to make them.
and I'm like,
You can make them so much cheaper with technology of cameras, and you can, with an iPhone, shoot, commercials now that are very high quality.
yeah, and I know for a fact that they're. I mean, even the thing is, like, the qualities. I've seen some of them and gave up on the first 2 episodes. The stories look interesting, but I tried them out, but the thing is, I noticed that a pattern is that the plots are somewhat similar. I've seen like 4 different shows of 4 different countries produced by Netflix that the plot's almost the same. Are they recycling material though? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, like, maybe I just know enough about storylines that the shows seem too predictable to me.
Well, and they keep, and because the setups are the same, right? Every Viking movie is going to have 1 or 2 guys that live through the whole thing in some kind of peaceful, cool ending. Every series, it does get old, because even when you're watching Game of Thrones, how mad did people really get over the way that ended? People were really upset, and now there's these other series. I think is it the one that's on that 3
3-body problem.
Isn't that the creators of Game of Thrones, the producers? I think they produced that as well.
I haven't seen that.
And it's cool. It's weird as it's unraveling. It's weird, but you can see that it feels good and interesting. You're like, wow, this is different. I want to watch it. If they ruin that ending, they're going to be crucified.
But Game of Thrones ushered something new in the when it comes to making a series, and that is killing off beloved characters suddenly and almost too early to show audience.
Definitely, that's true.
It's a way to gain It is a way to gain viewership. I mean, George R. R. Martin didn't. I don't think he wrote the stories.
The Walking Dead did a little bit of that too.
But the thing is, like The Walking Dead, the shows are based on a written medium.
Yep.
But I don't. Like killing off characters, is it because it has to make the story work, or is it just to gain more people to see what happens after that?
I feel like, just as a society, anytime a new way to do something is created, it becomes a plug-in. It becomes like, okay, we're going to shoot high frame rate, but to do that, Peter Jackson, we have to create these cameras and do it this way, and we have to have this thing. And as soon as that's done, that's all patented, and then it's packaged together and sold to other movie companies for millions of dollars for that technology on how to create that. If Adobe Photoshop and Adobe, here's your thing for creating all these things. Well, now we've created a way where you can do this kind of feature to imagery. So what do? Here's a plugin that you can buy, where you can hit one button and it creates that thing for you that it took an artist 55 hours to get that effect to go into that digital image that they worked their butt off, on. Well, now someone else can come through and just hit a button and create that same effect. But that person that created it the first time usually gets a license behind it, and then they sell the license, and that's how they make the money, not off that one piece of art.
How can we
off the platform on how it was created?
How can we make money off of this art?
Yeah.
Back to. Yeah, I mean, and no, but while ironically at the same time they are creating, they're continuing the culture of communities of their preference in music. Even back in the Baroque period or Renaissance period, there were in fact fans of poets, and they were fierce rivals of those groups. So they say this poet's verses are better, and they talk about important things. Now the
poet's going to the country store down on Main Street. Let's all go. And then all the kids run out of their wooden houses and run down the pathway and watch them go into the pharmacy.
Well, maybe the educated, the people who have the chance to read or hear the poems. Yeah, there were one poet was Francisco Quevedo in 1600 Spain, and the other one I forgot started with a G, but they were fierce competitors. There were people who would criticize each other for liking the other's poems. We still have those communities. We have your Walking Dead fans and your Game of Thrones fans. We have your Seinfeld fans and your Friends fans.
Oh, it's hardcore, and they're all in communities. They all like, even like Supernatural, the TV series that was like many, like 17, 18 seasons. They have shows, conventions, just like Comic-Con that they do every year. And to get a photo with an actor in Supernatural, the main guys, it's $500-$600.
Oh, I know.
Just to take a photo with them.
A friend of mine went to saw one of the actors from
Crazy.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And $500 to get his autograph and a selfie. I mean, I guess that's one way you gain revenue. But
It's wild, though. I mean, people. There's a spectrum of people that'll do a lot of different things.
But you wouldn't be surprised if there are
Marketing.
people who, if couples, the fate of a relationship's determined to, I'm a Gilmore Girls fan. Well, I'm a Game of Thrones fan, babe. Like, how long is that going to?
It's gonna,
like, you have, because remember what I said, that art reflects outlook and perception and personality. You have, just by looking at their preferences alone, says something about them.
Yeah.
I remember almost a month ago, I went to Dr. Phillips Center in Orlando to see the movie Batman play. They played the movie Batman on a screen in the auditorium, but there was an orchestra, and they played Danny Elfman's score. They played Danny Elfman's scores. They did not have the audio. The only audio in the movie was the Prince songs and the dialogue and the sound. The music was played literally by the orchestra. To me, that was an amazing experience.
yeah.
I didn't need a VR for that. No, that was an amazing experience. But because I got to see this amazing orchestra, Orlando Philharmonic, play one of my favorite movie scores while watching one of my favorite movies of all time live. While that was going on in the much bigger theater in the same building, the Wilderness Theater, I think, Bob Dylan was playing. Two different communities, two different tribes. I'm not saying they don't like each other's music. I'm sure there were Bob Dylan fans in that theater watching Batman, and I'm sure there were Batman fans or Danny Elfman fans in that auditorium watching Bob Dylan. But the fact is, simultaneously, two expressions of art being played at the same time by communities of those who appreciate the art.
Yep. It's a very interesting thing that's happened, and I think we're almost 2.5 hours in, so we're going to go ahead and call it, and I know it's getting a little late. I got to go put the kids to bed. But, man, Che, thank you so much for coming to hang out. It was awesome to bring the second half of the show in this way with you. I love every time you're in and talking. It's always a blast. And I like how we can get these. I love the long format, idealistic conversation that can kind of go off the walls and be about anything. You help deliver that, so thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
That's awesome.
I always love doing these podcasts. With you guys.
I will say we need the Che-bots.
Che-bots.
I agree, Che-bots. In closing, I like to play devil's advocate. I agree that there is always a balance of respecting and experiencing the past, but also embracing the future, because progression is always going to be there, whether we like it or not.
Che-bots are just.
I believe you are into progression. I'm not against that. I believe it. It's a great conversation to fight that balance, though, and to talk about that balance, because there's a lot of different ways that this can end out, and maybe we get some of this right.
We do need technological progress, but thank you for the Che-bots bit. As I said, I just see us more as Jiminy Crickets than.
Yeah, man, totally. And T, man, thank you so much, man. It's awesome hearing about all the music stuff going on. We've got an album coming out soon, Kyle and 8 Minute Mile.
Nice.
All kinds of songs that's been coming. Miles. And all of this coming out, and it's amazing. It's awesome to see. There's so much more that we're all talking about doing, whether it's gardening, whether it's conversation, whether it's going to the opera, whether it's VR in it. It doesn't matter, as long as you're happy and as long as you're you're centered and good, then all's well.
It's good times.
Really good.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Wow, that was a deep dive there.
Daisy's in a tube top, screaming from the top of her lungs. This all ends tonight. Daddy's on the floor, he's screaming for more, saying you're gonna be alright. Daisy's in a tube top, screaming from the top of her lungs. This all ends tonight. Daddy's on the floor, he's screaming for more, saying you're gonna be alright.
Dude, that's just killer. Oh, dude, that was awesome.